Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second or third video depending on your point of view. So more about that in a second. So we're looking at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for the UK and also for Europe. It's our 10 to 14 day and I shall get on with it for you very shortly. We've released a 7 AM forecast, going to be live streaming at 6 PM this evening. Going to have a Wednesday live stream for once, and we're going to be giving away a little bit of GavsWeatherVids merch to celebrate getting to 12,000 subscribers. So I shall see you at 6 PM. Now, I released a few minutes ago, I'm sure you all saw it, about an hour ago, the USA forecast dropped on the channel, and it turned out that there was no audio on the video. So the computer did a Windows update last night and for some reason changed the settings on the screen recorder on OBS. And I hadn't noticed, and I recorded a video and uploaded it and released it, and then you all started telling me that you couldn't hear any sound. So never mind, these things happen, don't they? So I'm so sorry about that. To anybody who's waiting for the USA forecast. I have not got time to do it today. I've got to get this one done, and then I'm streaming at 6 o'clock, so I won't have time to do it today. I will try and do the USA forecast for you tomorrow, as well as the European Outlook and a 1040 day, so I have a busy day ahead tomorrow. But yeah, these things happen. You know, it's tech, isn't it? And Gav's never been all that good with tech, to be honest. But I have made sure that, as you can see there, we have got sound and audio on this video anyway, so we shall get on with that. Now, the main talking point of USA forecast was the potential for a hurricane to get to the east coast of America later next week. So we'll just discuss what's going on in the tropical Atlantic right now. So we've got Tropical Depression Nicholas just here in the southern part of America. That's bringing copious amounts of rain, but is a weakening feature across the southern states at the moment. That's going to go post-tropical tomorrow, I think. We've also got Disturbance 2, which has a 60 to 70% chance of cyclone formation in the next 2 to 5 days. That's going to head in this sort of direction. So that's one to watch. And then this red X just here is Disturbance 1 with an 80 to 90% chance of cyclone formation in the next 2 to 5 days. Now, this is the one that might get to the eastern seaboard of America next week as a major hurricane. So at the moment it looks like it's going to go in that sort of direction, and then it looks like it could curve northwards and head in towards the eastern and northeastern states. So that is definitely going to be one to keep a close eye on for anybody you know, in the eastern part of America. I've had a few of those already this season that have gone in that direction. It looks like this one might do something similar, but of course it's all a long way. I'll tell you what the GFS is projecting in its extended range at the moment, but one to watch there. And when I do USA forecast again tomorrow, we will have a really good look at that. Of course, I will get that USA forecast done for you tomorrow, hopefully. Right, central temperature, coming back to home, central temperature is now sitting at 17.6, that's 3.3 degrees above average. That's provisional to yesterday, the 14th of September. Didn't come down much yesterday. We had a very cool, wet day across particularly eastern parts of central England. It probably didn't rain that heavy, though, in the west, so temperatures would be a little bit higher across western parts of central England. And overall, we only dropped 0.1 of a degree off the CT yesterday. Of course, we're still having pretty warm nights as well. So CT is gradually lowering, but is still really high, you know, still over 3 degrees above average. Of course, with this, what we don't know is how much of a downwards correction we're going to get. We normally get like a few tenths of a degree taken off, so we wait to see how much downwards correction we get with the CT over the next few days. Or at the end of the month, I should say. Right, this is how the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles are looking. Looking at Dundee today. This is another suggested location. So if you'd like to have your local town or city feature within this part of the video, then all you need to do is let us know. You can either ask us through the comments or email me at GavsWeatherVids@gmail.com with your suggested location. And we're always happy to have a look. So this is how the upper air temperature is looking for Dundee at the moment. So we're generally above the red line, which of course is the 30-year upper air temperature average for the next few days. We see a bit of a lowering of the upper air temperatures we get through to the early part of next week, but not for long. Then they start to lift up again. And then as getting to the final days of September and just the start of October now, we see the upper air temperatures then very close to average. I think particularly dramatic going on there with the upper air temperatures, but I think just generally trending above average over the next week to 10 days. Not hot as it was at the beginning of September in the first week of the month, but still generally on the warmer than average side. So for next week to 10 days. Precipitation-wise, reasonable amount of dry weather for the next 2 or 3 days, but over the weekend into next week looks like it's getting more unsettled and potentially becoming very unsettled there for Dundee at the end of September and to the start of October. We might be seeing signs of proper autumnal rains there through the final week of September, perhaps. They're pretty big precipitation spikes that we have there. Temperature anomalies from the 15th to 23rd of September are more or less above average, not excessively hot, but yes, trending slightly above average in weekend, and still driving average from the 15th to 23rd of September, so any change to wetter weather, you know, is not close enough to change the precipitation anomaly, which has been generally solidly driving average all month, and that continues for the time being for the week from the 15th to 23rd of September. Latest wind flow map from earthnorthschool.net shows that the low pressure brought the wet weather across southern and eastern areas yesterday is now in the North Sea and heading to Denmark. We've got very slack gradients, but there is more low pressure out in the Atlantic, and I think we will see some more rain as we get through into the weekend. Otherwise, we're under a little bit of a ridge of high pressure actually at the moment. This is how the UK Met is looking for Saturday from the weather outlook. So bringing the trough across the country on Saturday, that will bring rain, particularly to the north and west. I think a lot of that rain will weaken in the south and southeast. Then into Sunday and on to next week, another trough pushing through from Sunday through to Monday. That will bring potentially more wet weather to southern parts of the country this time later in the weekend. That low could linger in the southeast actually on Monday, so again that might mean some wet weather early next week into the southeast corner before it gets out of the way. We tried to build up this ridge of high pressure, but it looks like it's about to be flattened off by low pressure coming in off the Atlantic Ocean. So yeah, you know, it's a mixed outlook. It's not desperately wet, but definitely more mixed than we've had for a little while, and particularly for the north and west where we are exposed to these weather fronts coming in off the Atlantic. As far as we get to with the UK Met, this is how the GFS midnight run was looking. So again, on Saturday, a trough of low pressure heading in off the Atlantic will bring rain, particularly to the west. Into Sunday, high pressure tries to build in from Scandinavia, with this low pressure sort of going northwest southeast, could bring some wet weather into southern and western parts of the country. By Tuesday, high pressure is ridging from the Azores to Scandinavia. That's pulling the wind into the east. This is not a particularly warm easterly, though. Could actually have a little bit of a chill to it with that easterly wind. But high pressure takes over with this GFS run through the middle part of next week. And that high pressure sticks around for much of a week. So the GFS is swung back again to higher pressure solutions for next week. It changes from day to day, doesn't it? One day low pressure, one day high pressure. Yesterday it was all low pressure with the GFS. Today it's all high pressure again. So that's just how we've been going on all month, really, isn't it? With the GFS swinging from day to day. Today, anyway, the midnight GFS run is back under high pressure, has us back under high pressure going up towards day 10. But just beyond day 10, it rapidly weakens that high pressure and brings low pressure in from off the Atlantic. So just beyond day 10, yes, we start going into an unsettled autumnal, wetter, windy pattern. Very extended range. This is 29th of September, but that looks properly autumnal. Autumn will truly set in with deep low pressure in the northern part of the North Sea. And gale force winds around that area of low pressure and lots of heavy rain as well, so that would really blow away the cobwebs. And as we get to the beginning of October, so as we go with the GFS days to the 1st of October, the next low is about to rattle in and bring another spell of wet and windy weather. So definitely livening up there in the final week of September. But before then, next week, GFS actually has us back under high pressure again. This is how that was the midnight GFS run. This is how the 6 said, looks the very latest. So again, on Saturday, we've got low pressure trying to come in off the Atlantic. That brings rain to the west, but I think for eastern areas, a lot of that rain will be quite light and patchy. High pressure building in from Scandinavia through Sunday and into Monday. Turns wind into the east. That's probably quite a cool easterly wind, though. Not excessively hot. Go through to the middle of next week. Again, high pressure dominating from Scandinavia. Winds remain in from an easterly direction. Second half of next week, that high pressure begins to weaken. Low pressure then starts coming in off the Atlantic. It takes its time, but eventually we do start to go into a more unsettled spell of weather, although we do for a time pull up quite a warm southwesterly wind around day 10. But really, it's low pressure coming in off the Atlantic with the GFS in the extended range through the last week of September. Right at the very end, the Azores high started to build back in again for the beginning of October. And yeah, the Azores high back in business again by the start of October. This is how the GM looks. If you enjoyed the video, then please smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. And drop a comment. Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. GM, again, has this trough coming in off the Atlantic on Saturday. Will bring rain into the north and the west. A little bit more unsettled over the weekend inside of next week, I think, with GM compared to GFS outputs. This is more in line with what UK Met is showing. Maybe bring some rain to some parts of the country over the weekend and into the early part of next week. Meadow Ridge trying to build from the Azores, Scandinavia through the middle of next week, but low pressure coming in off the Atlantic really sort of flattens that off. And as we get to day 10, actually we're looking quite unsettled here with the GM, with low pressure to our north and west, bringing quite a bit of wet weather, particularly to western areas. And then the ECM looks like that. Again, the trough is pushing across the country on Saturday. Going through to Sunday and Monday, we have high pressure from the Azores trying to reach to Scandinavia. That's trying to get us back into high pressure. In fact, does so through the middle part of next week. We have got a ridge there through the country. That ridge carries on into the second half of next week as well, particularly England and Wales. Scotland, Northern Ireland starting to turn more unsettled. And at day 10, we look like that. So the high pressure of Scandinavia is blocking the progress of these areas of low pressure at day 10 and is turning wind into the east. And actually we are quite close to pulling in some quite cool air from off the continent with those east winds. Eventually easterly winds for too much longer are going to start getting colder. They will start getting a chill to them if we carry on with these easterly winds into October. So the ECM is very sort of anti-cyclonic mode today, very high pressure dominated through next week. So there has been a definite shift within the model output back towards higher pressure again and drier conditions again for next week. This would be precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from tometeo.com. So rain in the west at the end of week and into weekend, making very little progress into eastern areas, but could bring some wet weather, particularly to the south. Then going to open up next week, there's a few showers around, particularly in the northwest. Turns a bit wet there, otherwise lots of dry weather through the early to middle part of next week, and increasingly so actually way up to day 10. Winds in from the east, high pressure blocking these rain bands in the Atlantic, and so mainly dry actually as we go through next week after a showery start. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10, which gets us from the Icelandic Met Office, gets us to 25th of September. 17 members of the ECM ensembles have high pressure over Scandinavia. Low pressure is to our west and southwest. Bit of a battle going on with those. Low pressure to the west is trying to bring in wet weather off the Atlantic. High pressure to the northeast is trying to maintain dry conditions. Probably quite wet both for western areas. 12, including the operation run, that's the run we've just been talking about, have high pressure dominating from Scandinavia, bring wind in from the east. 11, with low pressure to our west, that's going to be unsettled with wet weather in off the Atlantic. 6, with high pressure in the middle of the, low pressure in the middle of the Atlantic, high pressure just to our east, that's going to be a little bit drier. quite warm. And then 5 with low pressure over top of the country. So it really is a case of the ECM ensembles being quite split at day 10 between the drier and wetter solutions. Uncertainty continues as it has done all month. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. Gets us to the 30th of September. 18 members of the ECM ensembles have high pressure ridging from the Atlantic to northern Europe with low pressure around Greenland and Iceland. That's going to be relatively dry. And winds will be coming in from the east with that, so it could be a bit on the cool side actually. 17 high pressure to the north of Scotland, so again that's mainly dry. Winds in from the east or the northeast, that's going to be quite cool. And then 16 with high pressure between Iceland and Scandinavia. Low pressure over top of the country. Obviously, that's quite a wet scenario, especially for the south. And that one would be cool as well. Looks like all the options are favouring like an easterly type flow, though, by the end of September to start of October. Which, as I say, those easts will start getting a chill to them if they carry on much longer. Up to now, we've been in the part of the autumn where the easts are still quite warm as a leftover legacy from the summer. But of course, the further on we go, the continent will cool down, and so, you know, from October, those easy winds will start getting a chill to them if they persist. Lastly, CFS V2, these are 500 millibar heights broken down to week periods. The first week period takes from the 15th to the 21st of September. The coming week will have a ridge of high pressure from the Atlantic up to northern Europe, so quite a bit of dry weather coming up in the week ahead. We're back into higher pressure. Week 2 is also high pressure dominated. So 22nd, 28th of September, high pressure is between Scotland and Norway. The winds coming around the high pressure from an easterly direction, so mainly dry. You know, probably not excessively warm with those easterly winds, though. Week 3 has a bit of a change. It's 29th of September to 5th of October. High pressure begins to slip eastwards and starts to form a mid-Atlantic ridge. There's probably some lower pressure through here, perhaps. Could be a little bit more showery, maybe that. And then week 4 is the 6th to the 12th of October. Low pressure to the south of Greenland. High pressure across the continent. So we're bringing up a southwesterly wind with that. That's potentially very mild or even quite warm. And for the south, should be relatively dry as well. I would have thought northern areas probably a bit more unsettled. But I don't think really we want to look beyond sort of the next week or so, because there's still so much uncertainty about next week, whether it be high pressure or low pressure up to day 10. But anything beyond that, you know, remains to be seen. Right, if you enjoyed the video, please can you smash the like button, make sure you sub to the channel. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. To your friends and family, to subscribe as well. Drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. We did hit 12k subscribers over the weekend on Sunday, and so we're going to have a celebration live stream at 6 p.m. Probably last half an hour or so. I don't think we'll do the full hour, but we'll do half an hour. We'll have a look at 12Z. We'll give away some merch. Might have a look at one of the CFS runs at Metro CL as well, maybe, if you'd like to do that. And yeah, so be a nice sort of half hour or so to celebrate reaching 12,000 subscribers. So that's going to be coming up from 6 p.m. You enjoy the rest of your Wednesday afternoon. I shall see you live at 6. And don't get USA broadcast. I'm so sorry what happened with that. It will be back tomorrow, though. It will be back tomorrow, and I'll get that done tomorrow morning. But for this one, that's all for now. You enjoy the rest of your Wednesday afternoon. I'll see you later. Bye for now.